Yeah, what's good, y'all? Give me a second as I get myself situated. So this is really interesting. A couple days ago, I asked everybody, what kind of content you want to see on the channel, and people said they wanted to see some interviews, podcasts, etc., etc. So I said, you know what? I have a really strong network going on here. I have a couple people, who I could speak to. So I hit up Lee to the V, and here we are. So today we're gonna give you all an opportunity just to talk to us a little bit. I have some questions for Lee. I know Lee has some questions for me as well. So this is gonna be a chance for y'all to get to know us a little bit more, ask us questions about some stuff. We'll see where it goes. But it's really gonna be dependent upon y'all as well. So feel free to engage. If you see me looking away a little bit, I have a chat right here, so I'm looking at y'all, on my tablet and everything. But yo, Lee, feel free to join us real quick.
We say, my bro. Wait. Let me give you. Let me see if I can run the visual. 1 second.
Yes, sir.
What's going on? Can you see me just yet? Can you
Hey,
see?
there we go.
There we go. What's up, people? What's going on?
Yo. So real quick, y'all. So my camera is here and my screen is here, as y'all would know from the way I do my reactions. So from time to time, I may be looking at y'all. I might be looking at Lee. Don't take it personally, y'all. I know on my screen, it looks like I'm looking directly at Lee. So hopefully it looks the same way for y'all. But, I'm looking at the chat. So if anything comes up, y'all let me know what's good in the chat. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at y'all. But yo, Lee, what's good?
What's good, my bro? You good?
Yeah, man. So real quick, for those of you who don't know, first of all, my name is Shadiq. I could call me Alchemist, and I'm here with Lee to the VI. He is undoubtedly one of the leaders, and
oh wow,
he's at the forefront
wow.
of this UK reaction thing. You know what I mean? There's several channels out there doing their thing, and Lee, I know for myself, when I was first starting to do listening to UK music, I remember Lee and Walks' channels just jumped up on my screen out of nowhere, and then I was like, yo, what's going on with this? Like, reactions. Like, I remember back when 2 Blunt started doing reactions, and then I really fell off the reaction thing for a while, and then I stumbled across Lee's channel. So ever since then, I've been watching, commenting here and there, and then over time we started talking a little bit, and here we are right now. So what I'm gonna do, everybody, so I have some questions. Like I said, now I'm gonna leave with some questions for Lee. Every once in a while, I'm look back at the chat, see what y'all saying. I'm not gonna be able to catch every single thing y'all are saying, just so you know, but I'm gonna do my best to catch any questions that y'all have in the chat. But then this is also gonna be a dialogue. I wanted to take a slightly more unorthodox approach to the interview thing. Like, yeah, I have questions for Lee, but also at the same time, I think it works better when there's a dialogue going on and everybody gets a chance to hear from everyone, So we're just gonna jump right into it. So really quickly, right? So Lee to the VI, the man, the myth, the legend.
Let me turn down my phone. I'm just watching the stream. Like, Jesus Christ, it looks like shit. What's happening?
Yo, we got 116 viewers right now.
Yo, that's actually crazy. That's fucking decent,
That's
mad. Mad thing.
Right. Yo, Fanatic. We have Fanatic in the chat. I know I saw Inside earlier. I know I see Spacey. I see Lena. I saw you, Odin. I know there's a couple of names I'm missing. I think I saw Sarchi earlier. But so we're gonna get straight into it. Lead to the VI. So
yeah,
what made you start this wild journey that we call YouTube?
Jesus Christ. Listen, man, back in the day, if you don't know, I used to make music, innit? And I was spitting bars, getting into the whole thing of sort of music production. I used to engineer, kind of like on a, Russ, Like, you know how Russ does all his stuff. Like I used to engineer, I used to do my own videos, all those kind of things. So I started the channel Lee to the VI, and I was dropping music videos and little vlogs and blogs here and there. You know what I mean? You know, like artists back in the day. And so that's what started the channel. I've taken that so much content. I just want you to know that. Yeah, I've taken that so much content from my channel. I swear to God. But yeah, I had pretty, I can't lie, my music video quality and videos I've always dropped, always fucking decent, like always dope. But musically, had a lot to learn, man. Had a lot to learn. And as I got older, I don't know, it's like I got into this more side of YouTube. Do you know what I mean? But other than that, yeah. That's why I started music, innit?
Yeah, that's interesting. So, so for everybody,
wait. Why'd you start?
But
Why'd you start, bro?
So, all right, it's funny, right? There's an actually perfect segue. Exactly what I was about to say a little. So, my journey is a little bit interesting. So, I had my channel for I think 13 going on 14 years now. I had a channel, right? It was just something for me to upload or whatever. If I made something I wanted to share with somebody, it was like the video sharing platform at the time. You feel me? So I would use that to upload, upload stuff. And then as I started getting into martial arts, I kind of use it as a way for me to document, my martial arts experience.
Okay.
So I now upload my tournament stuff, my tournament footage, things like that. And then as I started getting into gaming, I would start like recording and editing gaming related footage. I kind of really started landing on like a niche during like the Marvel vs. Capcom days. So there's some guys in the chat who are gonna know. I know I saw Fnatic in there earlier. I saw Inside. I saw Rhymes. So I was I used to go by the name Dougie, right? That was a whole other thing. That's a whole other story, right?
Oh, it's the ego,
yeah. Yeah. You can say that. So I started with the channel doing that. That was my gamer tag. And I used to upload content within that sphere. Again, I was like in high school, so I'm just recording things to share with the community and everything. And then as the game I was playing started moving a little bit more towards the I don't want to say the wayside, but as other games started picking up more so, you know what I mean, I wasn't too into it as much, etc. So the channel kind of went on its own thing on the side. And then I started playing other video games. I'll upload footage playing some of that. That died down, and then it was interesting. So back when I first started listening to UK music, and I started seeing other people doing reactions, I'm just like, yo, I could be doing this. Like, I get it. Like, they're asking the questions, but I already know I could probably be doing this too. But I was like, yeah, whatever. And I wasn't really in that headspace. And then kind of to cut it short, to fast forward to last year, everybody's in lockdown. I was like, you know what? If there's any time to do this, it would be now.
Yeah.
So I got the camera and here we are.
Yeah. Dope, man. Yeah. Who's in the chat right now? Yo, hey, big up Vito. Shit. Anybody else in the chat? What we saying?
I see Take One AMVs. If y'all haven't already, make sure you check out Take One AMVs. Yo, sick anime music videos. The editing is sick. And one of the things I love about his channel is that it serves as a way to kind of bridge the gaps between communities, right? So for people who may not necessarily be too in tune with UK music, you may love anime, and then he puts them together. So for any of you who love anime, make sure you check out Take One. He's in the chat. I see Odin. Who else you got in here?
I'll drop Odin, man.
Yeah, man. Big old. I see Drug Season.
Oh shit.
Yo.
Yeah, we on them sides, yeah. Someone asked the question, wait, when you start listening to UK drill and which song? Well, yeah, I'm gonna take this. I think this is a question going to the both of us. I started listening to UK drill. It's got to be about 2017, to be honest. But because I was making music, loved grime, UK rap, like I kind of already knew Wagwan. So it wasn't a difficult transition to make, to be fair. And I started listening to UK drill just due to the audience and reactions, you know what I mean? And the first song I listened to, I'll never forget this one in life. Listen, you see Play for the Pagans when they were known as 1011? No CGM thing, 1011, you get it? Hey, come on, that I can't lie. I will say this till the day I die. That song had me shook. I felt like I was in the bowels of hell because I didn't know what it was. Nobody explained to me about UK drill. It was just like, it's like walking down the wrong road at the wrong time. You know what I mean? Shit. But yeah, same question to you, bro.
Yeah, man. Yo, so it's interesting with me, right? And I'm almost looking at the chat too. The thing with me was I started with UK grime, right? So in 2010, a friend of mine put me onto the Skepta freestyle on Westwood. Yeah, tell them youths I'm going again to the fire and burning no more. Yeah, so
Oh shit!
So put me onto that, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's how I started following the scene. And then what was my first drill song though? So my first drill song, right, was Don't Like by Chief Keef. I Don't Like remix. I remember that was 10th grade.
Yeah.
And then
I think everybody that hit everybody.
I hit everyone, because at the time I was really into good music, and they did the remix with good music. So that was my introduction to Chief Keef in the Chicago scene. And then UK drill. It's one of those things where it's like, you know how you just kind of started something, but you don't remember the exact moment. It was one of two things. It was either, unfortunately, no, Big Shaq, Man's Not Hot, right? It was either that, or I think I was familiar with the beat because of Let's Lurk, because I knew gigs and then I knew the song.
Okay. See, now when we talk about like the UK scene becoming larger internationally, nobody actually talks about how influential Big Shaq was, like him as a rapper, because that song itself going global meant that so many places had their attention on UK slang, the way we talk, more interest into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's crazy because that was like a lot of my friends' introductions out here to the UK scene, right? I'm actually gonna be doing a video about this a little bit, about like about like America's relationship with the UK scene. But it was like my friends, they knew of Skepta, but that was because of his relationship with A$AP Rocky, right? I know a lot of my friends out here, they probably listen to a lot of artists who are UK artists, so they may not necessarily realize, oh, that's a UK based artist. Like, I know a lot of my friends like Stefflon Don, you know what I mean, like artists like that. So, and then I remember at the parties here in New York, they would play Man's Not Hot. I kid you not, they would play Man's Not Hot.
That tune broke, like, because just looking at all the people in the video as well, like looking at all the, and you got to think like that started from a comedy sketch freestyle. It wasn't supposed to be a song.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And when we stick, like, that was a viral moment that just went, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Lena, man. Shout out Rag Talk TV. Come on.
Facts. Yeah, so that was one of the first things. And then I knew that I was familiar with the culture because I already had my experience, listening to grime, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like from there, I either learned about Let's Lurk, or I remembered, or I knew it because of Let's Lurk. It was one or the other. And then the next song from there, I remember this very vividly, Luke Cage, Sticks M24, right? That was like, I think that was like my very, very first song that was just like, that really stuck with me. And then from there, I just started watching videos, and then I landed on you and Walter's channel. I started learning about more artists and more songs, and then
Yeah. So who else is in the chat, man? Oh, big up to everybody in the chat, man. Crazy. Darrell, come on.
He said, Shadiq, which UK slang do you use the most? So it's interesting because a lot of UK slang ties in. So I'm Caribbean. So my family's from Trinidad. So a lot of the slang ties in. You know what I mean? A lot of people out here, I don't know if it's because of the music influence. I don't know if it's because of people starting to watch Top Boy and other like movies on Netflix and stuff. So people start picking up the slang. So people out here say bruv. You know what I mean? Sometimes I swear, I kid you not, yo. I think that Top Boy revolutionized the way people say the word food in New York. Like, I think ever since Top Boy, like for people who like know that I like follow the UK scene, like yo, you got some peas, blood. And it's like, yo, don't talk to me like that. That's not you. Like people like, yo, man. So like they would say stuff like that, and like knowing that I understand what they're saying, they're like, yo, so, man, let's get for food in it. I'm just like,
you know what I'd be hearing as well? I'd be hearing man's like, but more in a UK context, you know, because
yeah
out there for the older heads, but it's like, no, man's got this, man's got that, you know, that kind of context.
Yeah. That's definitely that's one too. What else? I mean, I say a lot, like, because I picked up a lot of the slang over the years, so those things that just tie into the way that I speak, you know. So real quick, so I know some people are asking some questions, but let's bring it back to you real quick, right? So I know you started talking about the you started with music, and then that was kind of what was your introduction to YouTube and everything. But like, what were your plans? Like, did you have a plan? And then what were your plans when you started? And then what keeps you going now?
To be fair, my plan when I started was not to go to a 9-to-5, man. You know, like that. Like, I was signing on, right? So I was building a channel, and I'm going to the job center to sign on to get free money in it. I'd left the job which I'd been working for 11 years, right? I used to work in Tottenham, right? driving a forklift truck during the night. IKEA, if anybody knows, like IKEA on the A406, I used to work there at nighttime, just unloading lorries all night. And I'm in love with music, making music in the daytimes, you know what I mean, doing what I'm doing before I go to the shift and that. And I lost a dear friend, you know, he died due to cancer, you know what I mean? And we're about similar ages as well. And so going through that situation really made me look at my life and look at myself and think, wait a minute, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I can't, do you know what I mean? Like this young guy, just, you know, this young guy himself, he's from the Caribbean as well, you know what I mean? This young guy, my friend, you know, he's come over from the Caribbean, and this is, you know, where he's kind of ended up in a situation he's ended up in. So also coming into the night shift at nighttime, I was kind of you're reminded of the person, you know, all that. So essentially, you know, I just started making my way out of there, you know. When I left, I was signing on, obviously, as I said, and the job center were trying to get me to work in Sainsbury's, all these places, stacking shelves and whatnot. And I'm just there doing reaction videos. And I'm like, nah, I want to turn this into something. You know what I mean? Because we're in the avenue of music. Like, I love music. I'm like, nah, I'm going to turn this into something. But them times there was still recording, still going to studio, mind you. You know what I mean? So my boy is like, oh, you're going to become a musician, or you're going to do this YouTube thing. Like, you have to kind of pick a road, innit? So I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, what I can see working is talking about music online. That's what I can see is working. And that's, you know, I'm getting more and more joy from it, just meeting the fans, talking to people, like-minded people, you know what I mean? So it was that essentially. And then the job center itself, you know, they got to the point, I was on about 5K subs, yeah? And the job center sent me on some training thing to become a security guard, yeah? I've sat down in this room and watched this video and seen a security guard get punched in the head. And I said to myself, that is not for me. That is not for me. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not doing that. So I've come out of there. And then I signed off because obviously, you know, there's a certain amount of time you can claim money for, you get what I'm saying? But I saved all that money, signed off, and decided that in the next 6 months, I've got to make this channel, you know, at least cover me over my expenses for the month, you know? So I was surviving on around £100 a month, yeah? Putting out content like crazy, you know what I mean? Just trying to survive, you know? And it's a mad thing, car. My mum's Nigerian. I come home to tell my mum I'm leaving a job of how many plus years to become a content creator. You know what I mean? That's mental, like, you know, but I love my mum. My mom loves me, innit? She's just like, does it make money? I goes, yeah, if I do it right. She goes, well, you know, go and do it then. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah, here we are, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. First and foremost, a couple of people said in the chat as well, but rest in peace to your friend as well. I want to make sure that we give some respect to that. That's interesting. And I feel like it's always dope to hear these kind of stories, because these are the things that people don't really get to know about the creators, you know. Like, one of the reasons why I enjoy like podcasts and things like this is that it gives you another layer to interact with the person. Like, I know, I feel like for me, after a certain point in time, you know, when you're watching the videos, you more or less get a feel for the experience you're about to have. It's a part of that person's brand. You know, you click the video, they're going to do their intro, they're going to press play. So to a certain degree, it's not like you're interacting with them the same way. So things like this, they give them a chance to kind of talk on a more, they hear from us on a more interpersonal level. You feel me? But yeah, that's really dope. And it's interesting because for me, you know, I'm still working the 9-to-5 life. Fortunately, it's not something that I don't like. You know what I mean? I work at a college. So what it was, it's funny because before anything, after I graduated high school, I worked at my high school as a mentor, right? I had founded this after school program at my high school. And then because of the success that it had within the year of its founding, we were one of 40 schools that got 250 grand for 3 years to continue our programming, but like on an institutional level. So with that money, they hired me to be a mentor. So right out, like fresh out of high school, I'm working at my high school. And then for 2 years, and in that experience, people just like, yeah, you're gonna work in education. I'm just like, no, I'm not. At the time, I'm studying computer science. I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna go be like a software engineer or something. And people just like, nah, you have a career in education. And I'm just like, and no, I don't. You know, but then I graduated college. But before I graduated, I knew I didn't want a career in computer science. I knew that. I was doing really good. I was a straight A student, more or less. But I was like, nah, this field isn't for me. But by then I had also picked up my second major of Caribbean studies. So I needed that to balance out all the coding and all the extra math and everything. So by the time I graduated, I got into a school They weren't giving me enough money, so I turned them down. And then some time went by. I ended up getting a part-time job at the college. So now again, I'm working back in education as an advisor. And then in the midst of that part-time job, I got a full-time job, which is what I have now. And then it's funny because it's a program that I was a member of as a student. And then I graduated and now I'm working in the program. But then from there, it was like, no, I always had, oh, shout outs to Nina. She shout out my high school. Shout outs to Jeremy TV. Yeah, so I worked at my high school for a bit. Then I worked at my college. And then I was like, you know what? I just always had a knack for editing things. I was a graphic designer in middle school. I used to edit videos. So then, yeah. Here we are. Real quick, I don't know if you saw any questions in the chat, but I know I clocked one. Shout outs to Kyle. Thank you so much. I saw Take One ask the question. He said, are there any drill artists that you feel can completely change the sound? Can completely change the sound of their style of drill, like Hetty, for example. What was that?
I think I'm gonna say, like, we're all seeing it right now with Gully, man.
Take me in.
Come on, like that's one artist definitely. Like I think you're gonna hear a lot more artists getting into that kind of style of ad-lib delivery as well.
Yep.
You know, he's just so confident, so popping. Like it's mad. It's him and you know another one as well. I'll say Back Row G as well.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's different with it, man. The energy he comes on a track with is mad, man. It's like more jumpy drill. That's what I mean. Yeah.
You know, it's funny now. I have a question for you, right? Because I've been saying this in a couple of my reactions for a while now, and I'm glad you brought up those two names specifically because I have a theory personally. I have a theory that if any region in London, right, is going to make it, I don't say make it, is gonna reach New York specifically. I think it's South, right? It's gonna be South and OFB. Right, so OFB obviously from North. The reason why I say that is when I think about artists like Quangface, Karma, I believe Backroad is from South. I'm not 100%, right? Gully, right? And when I think about the sound that they have and how they could be rude, but they have that jumpiness, they have that ad lib, right? To me, they remind me of all the things that New Yorkers love about 5e, right? In terms of like the ad lib, like you can like not really listen to what he's saying and vibe to it, but they also have the other layer of like the next layer of lyricism and identification with their culture and with London. So I think if there's any region that's gonna blow, I think it's gonna be South. I think they all have that vibe.
I can't argue with that, you know. I can't argue with that. For me, like, I think we chose it on that award, on the award show. It was the best group, you know what I mean? Zone 2, like, them guys are absolutely crazy. So many characters as well. Do you know what I mean? So many different characters, and they're so unapologetically themselves, like, so fucking hood. You know what I mean? Defo Gully's like, I don't know where he come from, man. I don't know where he come from. He's something different.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, it's just crazy when I think about like artists who have been changing this. First of all, how the sound of drill itself has changed, right? But then when I think about artists like Abracadabra and how his sound completely evolved, right? He had the more Chirac type sound in the beginning, and then now he has his own lane. You think of people like 98s. Right? They have their own sounds. Like somebody like iSong, he has his own sound. I don't know if Inside is still here, but I have a couple friends who, when I put them on to iSong, they're just like, oh, I can vibe to this. I'm gonna say if anybody's gonna make it globally, iSong.
You see what we were it's this thing, like I've been talking about this for like years now. And I've been saying the evolution of UK drill, the evolution of what drill is, you know what I mean? And that's essentially what we're seeing as it becomes more popular, as people are essentially able to make money, careers and stuff like that out of it. It splits off into certain lanes, you know, artists come and they put their stamp on the sound. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fact. And I think that's one of the dope things about it too, is that how you have to start somewhere. You know what I mean? But it's interesting that we talk about, you know, evolution and everything, right? And starting somewhere. One of my questions for you really quickly is, how did the relationship between you and Walk start? Like, how did y'all get to know each other? Like, what was that like?
Yo, I see some of his videos online. I was like, yo, I like this little nigga, you know? You know what I'm saying? This guy's cool, you know. Like, hey, you know what? His spirit has always sat well with me, to be fair. There's a couple people like I always looked at on YouTube. It's him and Deep Speaks, to be fair. They're like my YouTube brothers, you know what I mean? Like me and Deeps, like we chat, you know what I'm saying? Me and Walks, we chat, and obviously we kind of got this duo thing going on, you know, and we banter as well. Do you know what I'm saying? We love to have a good joke. Like I'm not somebody who ever takes myself too seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I believe that in our relationship is dope, man. Very dope, very dope. But we met, yeah, just watching his videos online. And then I think I invited him around to my place to do a reaction. And the rest is history, man.
Yeah, that's because I always wondered, like, at least from like an onlooker point of view, it was just like how did that happen? Like 1 minute, you know, they kind of in their own doing their own thing, and then it just like,
you know what, right? It's the same thing you'll find for yourself. It's like you're doing this thing on your own. But understand, like when we started, nobody knew what a reactor. Well, you kind of knew what reactors were, but it wasn't mainstream like it is now. You know, if you start a reaction channel, there are people who are into reaction channels who will subscribe to see the content you have. You know what I'm saying? When we did it, it's like you didn't have that. It's like you had to fight for each subscriber, creating. Do you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Like the other day we saw Odin React, shout out Odin Reacts. We saw like that his growth, you know, pause had been like yeah, listen,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's been excellent. You get what I'm saying? But that is all part of the scene that collectively all of us have created. Do you know what I mean? Which is dope to see, man.
That's yes. That's a really good point, because like even like for myself, right? The way that I started this, like I said, I started with just watching, and I started recording, and then, you know, here and there now I'll comment on you and Walks' videos because y'all were like the two that I was watching. Like, oh, yo, maybe you should check this song out. And it's just like regular comment stuff. You feel me? I didn't see that. I'm just gonna keep going. You know what I mean? Just this conversation, and then, you know, obviously, you know, I started doing the videos, and then from there, as you and Walks actually just shouted me out just on your own free will.
Yeah.
You feel me? So no, shout out to y'all for that. Thank you so much. And then,
man, you know what? Like, I don't think you guys know. Me and Shadiq were discussing, because I'd started the Patreon. I'm trying to figure out, like, you know, what I'm doing first. You know, what I'm gonna spend money on? Is it computers? Is it cameras? etc. And this guy here was in the DMs, and we were DMing back and forth, and he's giving me information on computers. You know, stuff I wasn't too strong on, my knowledge back then. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's funny because I think you find it like a community, they kind of build around you, you know, and all the things you need and all the things you're looking for. Like there's tons of people who give me advice on A, B, C, D, or E. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's part of this journey as well, you know?
yeah, that's a big fact. So actually, I have a question for you, but real quick, well, what do you have for me? Now, what's something you want to know about me? What's something you think the people want to know?
I think that people want to know. Hey, I had some questions actually. One second. I had some questions. Yeah. Who is Shadiq? That's the first question.
Yeah. So, all right. So let me
In it.
I'm in an interview. So, you know, I'm a very self-driven individual. You know, I know how to play, but we're not joking. Now, I mean, 26, born and raised in Brooklyn. You know, families from the Caribbean. I think like many other people, especially, you know, Black men my age too, I'm somebody who's also figuring out myself as well. I mean, learning that it's okay for the answer to that question to constantly change and to reinvent itself. You know what I mean? Yeah. Learning how to learn yourself, I think, is one of the biggest parts of just one, growing as a person, and two, it's like how you evolve, because the way that you were a couple of years ago isn't gonna be who you are now. But right now, I would say I'm definitely somebody who tries to do his best to bridge gaps. That's always been something that I do in general. And it's like, truth be told, like if I could, I wouldn't be doing this. I don't like limelight, but I always manage to somehow find myself on a stage in front of people. Like that's kind of always been the role that I serve, in terms of like being that person in the middle. Like in high school, they voted me social butterfly, right? Because of the fact that I was in so many different social I was just many different social groups. So it's like, you know, I could chill with the quote unquote nerds. I'm gonna say that loosely. That's how we were thinking in high school. You know what I mean? I could converse with the quote unquote popular kids. You feel me? I had my own group of friends, but it was like I could float between all of those circles seamlessly, and I could relate to them in different ways. So that's kind of where I've always landed, is right in the middle.
Okay. Yeah. So where you from, my guy?
So yeah, I'm from East New York. I'm from Brooklyn. My parents are from Trinidad. I believe on my mom's side I have some family from Tobago, so the Twin Island. What else? I believe on my father's side I have some family from Grenada as well. But I'm pretty much, as far as I know, I'm just 100% Caribbean. I mean, which just means I'm a displaced African. You know what I mean? But that's ultimately, you know, where my background is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. This next question is kind of it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Do you at any points have apprehensions about putting yourself and your opinions out there on the internet?
You know, it's interesting, right? This is interesting. So the thing with me is, for me, the bigger picture of this is less so the opinion part and more so helping people understand, right? That's kind of always been me, like being the one to help. Like my friend group, my close friend group from high school, we have a joke that I over explain things, right? Or like I'll explain things several times. When people get it, I don't realize that they get it. So it's like there'll be times I'll be talking and they just look at me and then they start laughing, and then we all kind of get it because, like, oh yeah, I'm having that moment again. You know what I mean? So it's like our thing. It was our thing amongst ourselves. But like for me, truth be told, I don't necessarily care so much about putting my opinions out for the backlash aspect. If I'm gonna be 100% transparent, like this YouTuber influencer life, like it's terrifying to me, not because of being in front of people. You know what I mean? Like it's something that I tell my friends all the time. I don't like the word influencer. Like the notion of the fact that I'm seen as a person who influences. It's just like, I don't like that. Like to me, it's like, it's a terrifying thought. Not terrified, but I don't like the idea of the fact that the only thing that separates me and from the people who I hang out with on the weekends is that I sit in front of a camera a couple hours a week. And then because of that, that amplifies my worth to complete strangers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that to me, it's like, go for it, yeah.
I mean, I got to interject here because like,
go for it, yeah.
People watch people online and they kind of, I guess, get drawn to their personality. You know what I mean? Or whatever side to themselves that they put out. So, and there's a natural like, if somebody's part of your day, you know, when we're relaxing, the things we choose to do when we're relaxed are kind of like a bit of a positive part to our day. So
yeah.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, you're good. I hear you.
Kind of like a positive part to our day. So when we associate faces and people with those parts of our days, it's like, oh shit, yeah, that's Shadiq. Like, let's see what he's got to say, you know. So I do think in that regard, it's not, I wouldn't say to you, I wouldn't put it like that. I wouldn't put it like that.
No, it's, you know what it is? It's like, it's, for me, it's just interesting in general how much of a higher regard people hold someone's opinion solely for being on the internet. You feel me? Like for example, I have friends, I'm like, oh, like you should write a book. I'm just like, because of the things that they see me post on my personal social media, I'm just like, yo, y'all ain't hearing nothing that you can't hear from a more qualified person who studied this. It's like just this notion of like, because they see me as a well-respected, a respectable individual, and the way that I put, it's like that in and of itself gives what I have to say so much more value. You feel me? It's like that's the thing, is just like, I'm not a fan of that, because to me, and it's something I tell my friends, is that it goes to show how easily it happens for people who have malicious intent. You see what I mean? Like, it's just like for all anybody knows, I could be a complete scumbag.
Well,
right?
time will tell.
Huh?
Time will tell.
Like, yeah.
Like, you know, I think, like, you know, with this internet culture, this whole internet thing, it's like, I never take it too seriously. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen me and my edits sometimes, you know, are not perfect. I don't stress about shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't stress. Like, my audience sometimes, you know, there's a running joke on my channel called Your Text Here. It's when I've forgotten literally to put what's supposed to be in the text. But I don't mind about that. I'm not a person who's trying to portray perfection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact.
I think that the more you are yourself online, like, the better. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From the people, and this is another thing, like the people you also associate yourself with, because you have a ton of people coming at you. Oh, can you do this? Or would you like to do? You don't know about these people either. You know, you don't know whether in 2-3 months time, oh yeah, ain't that your boy from, and he's doing a madness over here. So sometimes you find yourself being a bit cagey towards people as well.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But you know, but I think at the ultimate, at the end of the day, like, I don't have too much apprehensions about it, because at the end of the day, with anything, you know, when you put yourself out or to do anything, you have to accept both sides of it. You feel me? So
Yeah.
for me, what I choose to do is I choose to see it as, you know what, regardless of the way that I perceive certain things, there are people who are finding value in whatever it is I have to say. So in that regard, you know, I don't have any apprehensions against putting anything out, because I know that in some regard I'm representing people who may have a similar sentiment, or I'm helping put words to certain thoughts that other people have.
Okay. Now I gotta ask you quickly before I go, because I'm curious, what martial art? Because I see a ton of trophies that back there. You're basically a ninja, my bro.
So when I was young, about like 5 or so, my father used to train me how to box a little bit. So I learned a little bit of that. And then at around like 2nd grade, I got into jiu-jitsu. And then from jiu-jitsu, in middle school, I got into judo. So I did judo from 6th grade all the way through about 11th grade. I had to pretty much put myself in retirement my last year of high school. I just had a lot of different things going on at the time. This didn't work out. But yeah, the majority of what I did was judo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Apart from that, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any funny skills, abilities, or anecdotes you'd like to share with your audience that they would never ever know you? Yeah, in 100 years.
You know, I had a beatboxing phase.
Oh shit.
You know what's crazy? Like there's like my
beatboxing here live. Like, come on.
Nah, you know what's crazy? So if you were to look at my YouTube favorites, right, you could see all the phases. Like I had a beatboxing phase, I had a soccer phase. I played soccer or football for the rest of the world. You feel me? When I was in middle school and high school, I played, not seriously, but I played because I had friends who played. But what else? I loved Legos as a kid, so I used to play around with Legos a lot. I used to build things. Everybody knows I'm a graphic designer. I mean, for those who don't know, I'm in a fraternity. You can see my letters right there. Yeah, I'm in a fraternity.
What is that? That's like American Illuminati, isn't it?
So Nu Omega Chi.
Yeah, Illuminati.
Yeah, so that's yeah, so that's what I meant to beatbox Dougie Fresh.
Nah, he should beatbox Digga D No Diet, man. Or boy.
No, maybe one day I might just do like a cover or something.
That'd be dope, you know.
Just I'll upload that and it's like, hold on.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, man. So I have one for you, right? And in the meantime, I guess if there's any questions you see in the chat, no, feel free to throw them out too. Okay. But hold the vowels. Somebody said after this, I'm gonna do a summary. You're gonna do the summary, and I'm gonna do the hold the vowels.
Yeah.
So yeah. So boom. So my question for you is, what's been one of the most rewarding things about this process of YouTube for you?
You know what? It's got to be all the relationships. I think that's been a dopest thing, man. Every dope relationship, you know, because there's a positive and negative, but I've had more positives than I've had negatives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my audience, man, like the community, the people who watch reaction videos, they're so fucking like, some of them, you get love in certain ways you'd thought, nah. Like, do you know, I started a clothing brand, you know what I mean? Doing my thing. I had boxes of t-shirts in my yard thinking, you know, well, can I sell all these t-shirts? They fucking went. Like, it's, you know, it's absolutely crazy. Like, you don't actually know like how much the community and those dope relationships that you have with individuals. There's certain members of my audience, like, because I answer my DMs, I was able to get to speak to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so it's those aspects, you know, meeting dope people that check for me. I got one brother, shout out to Jay, man. Nigga will ask me like, yo, how's your day going? You know, are you okay? What's up? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, if you just need to chat, because the wickedest thing is, as creators as well, I don't like to put my personal business out there. And there are days you go up, days you go down. And somebody who check for you like, yo, you're okay. Like, you know, I ain't seen you online for a bit, or, you know, this is that and the other, you know, it's that aspect of being a YouTuber that that's been the dopest, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, fact.
How about yourself?
So the most rewarding thing, I'll say the most rewarding thing for me is just like learning. Like, one thing to me, I like learning things. Like, I guess to answer like another one of the random things, right? I'm like a Wikipedia addict. Like, if something comes to my mind, I just look it up on Wikipedia and I'm just reading. You know what I mean? So for me, just like the constant learning. Like the other day, you know, we were chopping it up and talking about sound, and then I started learning more about sound equipment, and then learning about video, learning about how to improve my design skills, learning about editing. For me, it's just the learning aspect that's been the most rewarding. And then from there, the networking, connecting with people all over the world. And the biggest, most rewarding thing for me personally would be hearing like my friends out here, like, yo, I'm trying to get into UK music. Like, where should I start? Or like, yo, I'm checking out your videos. People who I don't even necessarily interact with on the regular, but they made it randomly like, yo, I've been seeing the videos, though, keep doing your thing. Like, that's been the most rewarding thing.
Yeah. It's funny because have you had that moment yet of where you're walking down a road and somebody's like, ain't you?
You know, because of lockdown, I don't go outside. But
true.
I've had those experiences in college because of the stuff that I was doing on my campus. So like, if those of you who are in the UK, like university for y'all, right? Like having those moments where I may not look like from a hole in the wall, but I'll just be walking and be like, you spoke about orientation, or yo, I read that thing that you wrote, blah, blah, blah. But in terms of the YouTube thing, nah. Truth be told,
you haven't had your low-ski moment yet.
Nah, and honestly, I'd rather not.
They don't have Tesco's in New York.
Nah. Nah, but it's just like it's one of the apprehensions that I had about the whole YouTube thing. It's like the notion of like stepping outside and people knowing who you are. What's it?
Question from Jess Roberts.
What's good?
What's you guys' takes on the Chip and Stormzy beef?
I think that they're both incredibly talented artists. I want to hear Stormzy reply. What was that?
Man, that's the politically correct shit. We ain't here for that, man.
All right.
What's going on? What's going on?
All right. The way that I feel, right? I feel like it's been a long time for Stormzy to not reply, right? I do feel like I have to acknowledge the business aspect of it too, and recognizing that with Chip, I don't want to say making a return because he's never left, but with Chip coming back, being at the forefront of the scene, it's been helping his career a lot. But I feel like we need to hear something from Stormzy, but then at the same time, it's like, what can you really say at this point without making it maybe super duper personal? At this point, Chip's just been poking holes at character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I think that it's a little disappointing that we haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just want to hear what he got to say. I'm wondering if part of it is like, what can I really say either? If it's gonna be one of those, I'm gonna let it die down. You know, one of those, if you don't feed it, it won't get bigger kind of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. How you feel?
I feel like Stormzy's fighting his ego. I think he wants to reply. I think the people around him know that there's no chance for him, so they're telling him leave it alone. And so that's why you're still getting jabs in certain tunes. I think Stormzy's got to go counseling or something and work through that energy because it's not going to happen. Like, Stormzy himself is too much of a big target for Chip. I mean, Chip can get really personal and stuff that everybody knows about. You know what I mean? And, you know, I guess what new information can Stormzy himself bring to the table? Do you know what I mean? Maybe his opinions on what's going on. And, you know, I guess, like you were saying, him not feeding it, not giving the guy's album launch any clout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Regardless, Chip has sort of brought the clout to the situation with or without him.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just right now, and I know you're going to agree with me on this one, Chip's retaliation rate is stupendous. The guy got a verse off and Chip had how many like bombs and shells ready for this brother, like in a way that it's just dumb at this point, you know?
Yeah, that's a fact. It's one of my biggest opinions on the matter is that I feel like it was interesting when it was Wiley, right? The corn was coming. It was 24 hours to reply. It was like, all right. And I said this in one of my recent reactions, like he had a lot to say. You feel me? Like he brought out all the stops. He referenced everyone in the family. And then now that it's the other way around, it's just like, you know, where's that energy? But at the same time, and just putting out there for the sake of people getting to know me a little bit, one of the main reasons why I don't overtly take certain stances on things, it's just the way I handle things in life in general, is that two people can have their beef, right? You pick a side, they reconcile. What's good for you now? You feel me? So like, that's kind of always been my stance when it comes to people who I know they have their own thing. I'm like, you know, y'all can do your thing because several months down the line, you feel me?
I think 50 said as much with Wayne and Baby when they were beefing, right? I think Rick Ross got involved and took a side. You know, I think he was going at Baby and he was, and 50 Cent said, well, when they piece up, like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I get it. I definitely get it. Captain Goon, you large up yourself, says, by the way, Shadiq, what do you think about Pop Smoke? Seeing as you're from BK and the way he emulated UK drill for an American audience?
You know what's funny? That was the exact question I just copied and pasted to answer as well. So I feel like one of the things that's interesting about drill, I'm gonna make a video about this too, right? I feel like pop was an example of just how global music is becoming in general. Like how, like, and I say in Europe, we listen to Man's Not Hot in parties. I mean, we listen to Afrobeat. There's certain songs that I have friends now that they listen to Stormzy because he's gotten on certain tracks. So to me, pop represented the inverse. You feel me? Like that sound kind of being globalized outside of Brooklyn. One of the things that I personally appreciate about pop, and it's similarly about Bobby and GS9, was how they represent the borough authentically. Like they are, like pop represents Canarsie. Like I have a lot of my friends are from Canarsie. You know what I mean? I have friends who knew pop personally. You feel me? I'm pretty sure I know people who know GS9 personally, right? So it's like they represent my borough, they represent my city. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why his career meant so much to Brooklyn, especially Canarsie, because it's like you get to see somebody. It's like how people feel about Hetty. You know what I mean? It's like he represents the farm, you know?
Now, you see, as somebody who grew up listening to American rap, yeah, I grew up, you know, when I was real young, there was Wu-Tang Clan, Snoop Dogg, all these artists come true, right? Now, to get to the point where I can see UK acts, you know, the first time I really started to see it was on UK Grime, right? And I guess a little bit with Soul Solid Crew and acts like that came through, but more so UK Grime because it was grown from streets and home. You know what I mean? You see that same exact feeling you're talking about? That's exactly how I feel about this UK scene that we have today. It's ours, it's homegrown. I know, like, if you're talking about Heady One's ends, you know what I mean? It's like a stone's throw from my yard. You know, I know people who are connected. You get what I'm saying? And that's also why sometimes in reactions, you got to kind of move a certain way. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you know, sticky one and all that.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you said that, because that's what I was thinking in my head too. Like, that's a big part of the reason why I don't really get too involved in the New York scene too much. I feel like it's different when it's your backyard. You feel me? And with drill being the sound of the city right now, it's like I don't really care to get too much into all that. You feel me? Like it's a lot of politics and all that. So I think it's different when it's like I would probably be feeling this way if I was from London. You feel me? Like when it's like it's people who you could actually run into them at some point. You feel me? Like it's
very
different,
real,
you know?
very real, very real. But me myself, I feel sorry for the youngers, to be honest. I would never wish to be young again, man, to go through the kind of stuff that young people have to go through growing up nowadays, man, because it's not fucking easy. We got government who essentially don't, you know, these kids are grown up through austerity. That's what they've known. You know? And then you got kids, all these kids doing the madness, growing up in homes and all sorts of things, you know, going missing, going country and all this stuff. Like, you know, it's a hell of a lot, you know, and I just think, you know, if you can grow up through it, you know, because I know that the suburbs are more tuned into drill than the hood. Do you get what I'm saying? Of course, when a big tune comes out, yeah, you want to know what's going on, but the hood knows what's going on in the street anyway. You know what I mean? So it's a really tough one. And me, myself, I can go anywhere because I'm not affiliated like that. You get what I'm saying? But there's a lot of young people who are. You know, you're going to find me in Wood Green one day. You're going to find me in Tottenham one day. You might find me East London. South London might see me because of reaction. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me, but, you know, I think a lot of the other younger reactors, I've spoken to some actually, who are like, oh, well, you know, I can't talk on this because, you know, they're from this place, so I can't, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a difficult one still.
Yeah, that's a fact. You know, it's like I'm happy you brought up with regards to everything you just talked about, because for me, one of the reasons why I personally got so heavily invested in UK music in general, beyond the music aspect, is that for me, it's like an equivalent to traveling in a sense, right? Like I get to understand another region. Like I could tell somebody that Tottenham's North London, and then Brixton is South London, and then and like it's helped me understand another place in the world through a different lens. The same way how, as a Caribbean person, it's helped me understand, like listening to reggae, soca, so it helps me connect to there and I understand aspects of it. So for me, it's been a way, even like with 1.4, like it helped me understand Australia through a completely different lens without actually being there. The video, the visuals are so raw, you might as well be there. So for me, the biggest part about music is that it helps me understand the world and also help me understand that the things that we're seeing here in New York, the things that people are seeing in Chicago, things that people are seeing in LA are the same things people are seeing in London. You feel me?
Yeah, you know what? That I think, especially with you just mentioned on Australia, like for me, listening to things like The Message, like, and these guys, you know, going nuts outside Mount Druitt, like, it's crazy because you realize there are hoods, as you're saying, all over the frigging world, you know, and it's just the same story, but different city. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like poor people and rich people with their necks on the foot of poor people, basically. That's essentially the, and that's a story because we all love that. I guess we all love that underdog story because it gives us hope. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The audience members, everybody who's listening to this artist, you know, going through this or coming out of jail. Do you know what I mean? And now, I don't know, as you would have noticed, like jail's become part of the, let's say the rollout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's become part of the rollout to release, but yeah.
Yeah. It's like the biggest thing, and it's actually kind of ties in a little bit to what somebody says, why do you think some Americans can't listen to UK drill? It ties in a little bit to what you're saying. I think part of it is there's like a slightly inherent arrogance. There's a slightly inherent American arrogance, right? But I think in people in general, right, when you're from a particular place and you don't have any other point of reference for another place, sometimes it's hard to identify with it. Like I could read comments in a 1.4 video and they're talking about Australia the same way people in America talk about the UK. And people in the UK talk about Ireland the same way that people in America talk about Australia. So it's like everybody doesn't get anywhere that's not them, you know?
Yeah. I think we've had it. It's tough. It's like, for me personally, it's like watching DJ Academics talk about the UK. It's frustrating for me because it's like, you know, as much as he's educated on American music, like he's doesn't really understand what going on over here. So it's more the stereotypes and the jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the same time, like, yeah, I've seen that in a comment section, like, you know, when 1.4 first came about, man, we're talking about kangaroos and shit. It's just like, yeah, you go to their ends. It's not a kangaroo thing. You're gonna get like, you know,
porn.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think for me, another big part of it too is that somebody pretty much one of the things Spider said, Americans tend to be ignorant to everything outside the USA. I agree. I feel like even the most people who are the most critical of America as a country, to a certain degree, have a degree of tunnel vision to the rest of the world, right? It's like, I think part of it is the accent. I think the way that the kind of visuals that we're given of UK people growing up, it's like tea and crumpets, like that kind of corny stuff. So I think for some people, they can't wrap their mind around the fact that that's no difference to kind of propaganda that you know what I mean?
I think you'll find that with some British people over here as well. Like we have that stereotypical sort of British person who'll go to another country where they speak another language and their method of communication is speaking English slower so they can understand. Like it's that sort of same like tunnel vision, not understanding that there are all different types of people in this world and none is smarter than the other and all that. But yeah.
But you know what, really quickly, I see one of my bros, shout outs to you, Ian. One of my bros just said something with regards to like Americans have problems, ain't just Americans having problems with out of the country accents. I have friends who have issues understanding me when my Southern accent pops out. And so I think some people sometimes forget how big America is. Like we're just literally a whole hemisphere, right? So like traveling from a state is similar to y'all traveling to another country for us, right? So even within New York, right? Like we clown on people's accents. Like the way people talk from Brooklyn isn't the way people talk from the Bronx, isn't the way people talk in Queens, isn't necessarily the way people talk in Harlem. It's like even within there, there's slight disconnects in language. And then we start talking about going to other regions. So I think it's a layer of like being closed off in general. Like people in the South, they have an accent, right? That some people up here don't understand, and vice versa. You go anywhere outside of New York, people say, "Yo, you have a New York accent." I'm like, "What accent?" It's kind of like a New York joke. We say we don't have an accent. This is just how you talk. You feel me? So I think it's just that cultural disconnect in general. But I think one of the biggest things in general is that people have, beyond music, I think people have trouble empathizing. I think it's hard for people to see themselves in anybody who they can't see, who they can't relate to, or who they think can't relate to them. You know what I mean? I think some people think that their struggle is the worst. You feel me? I think that's a layer of it. But I also think I think part of it is the accent. I think part of it is because it's a meme. Like, it's the funny thing to do to not like UK rappers. I feel like I honestly don't think that most people who have certain opinions about UK music in America have actually listened to anything other than maybe Man's Not Hot and maybe randomly stumbling upon like a Skepta or Giggs verse. You feel me?
Yeah, I think it's funny because like I should congratulate part of the American media, because I think the world has been looking for like, you guys were like, America was that place where you come to for serious music, because like in the UK, all the record labels were just putting out pop and manufactured shit that we all hated. And then you'd have artists like Chief Keef, like, you know, serious 30 gang bangers, like, who are down on their thing. Like, we never had that push to the forefront, you know? And then the internet coming about just made that possible. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fact.
A combination of the internet, a combination of the world getting a lot more acclimatized with the UK culture, and then also the weird rappers that were coming from America. It just made you guys look a bit like, what in
kind of crazy.
Like, I know America is not like that. You know what I'm saying? But the game had got to a point where the way that rappers would get attention is by doing certain things, or, you know, dyeing their hair certain colors, doing this, going to up block and trolling, or, you know, snitching, and it's all wild out there still.
It's point of reference. I think a lot of people don't have point of reference to understand anything outside of, you know, like media. I think though that one of the things that I like about drill personally, and the reason why I take it seriously, is because it helps people understand another person's hood, you know, to a degree. You feel me? I think that, or even just like media, like I'm just reference Top Boy because one of the more popular things here. Like, I have friends who say listen to UK music, but they've watched Top Boy just but through that they understand London a little bit more. You feel like they understand aspects of the experience. Granted, obviously we know there's certain things that are dramatized to a degree, but they have an understanding of London that they didn't have prior to before. So it's like, I think that people are catching on more. I think the music is creating more of a platform for it.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and this is another thing, you know, there's always that discussion here in the UK about Drake, and without Drake, the scene wouldn't be where it is today. And it, like I keep saying, it takes a village to raise a child. It's not just been Drake's input. It's not just, you have to have the artist first creating the music they're creating, you know, like you can't ever forget that. But then you also have to have, you know, situations like where Drake is interested in our UK culture and scene. You have to have a Big Shaq have his moment. You know what I mean? You have to have the reaction scene, the reactors who talk about music. You know what I'm saying? And I think the UK has been really good in adopting, even though we still deal with a ton of copyright issues, they've been really good in adopting that as a part of the strategy for, let's say, marketing, or just getting to see what an audience thinks. Because I've had artists tell me, oh, they go through the comment section to see what, like, you know, artists, what people are saying about them and on their songs. You know what I'm saying? And certain times, certain reaction channels or certain reactors, you know, they'll listen to find out where they can improve.
Yeah, you know I mean? Yeah, I think it's funny because one of the things that when I make reference to people, that's like why people out here, when I try to explain to them like why this is a thing, right? Because I know, like, I had a friend who told me like my channel put him on to a whole new form of entertainment. He's from Brooklyn as well. He's from Canarsie, where Pop is from. And one of the things I tell New Yorkers is like reactors are to the UK cultural ecosystem what like Instagram comedians are for New York. Like the way that I can say something to somebody like Shiggy, Capri, right? If I say Randy, right, people be like, oh yeah, they have an immediate identification with that content, with the people that I'm referring to, right? They're a part of our cultural ecosystem in our city. So it's the same thing with reaction channels. Like, y'all are part of the culture of the internet scene, you know?
Definitely. Yeah, what was the next question, man?
Let me see. So there's actually a good bit. So, but one of the things I had for you was I guess this is a good segue as well. Like, how has your life changed since becoming a part of this ecosystem, as Walk says?
Well, I've been waiting to say this one all night.
yeah.
Death goes no more, man. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. No, in all honesty, how's my life changed? I don't know. Like, essentially, I don't know. Like, I'm coming up on 200,000 subscribers and I'm still like in my bedroom making videos. Like in the middle of a pandemic. I don't actually know. Do you know what I mean? I do know that, you know, financially things are getting better for me, but like, I don't actually know how my life has changed. You know what I mean? It's a very weird space to be in, because also the reaction scene, like, and one thing you're gonna realize, Shadiq, is that like they don't know what to do with us just yet. You know, they don't know whether to give us brand deals, whether not to give us brand deals, whether to, you know, include us as part of a marketing budget for, you know, particular songs, rollouts, etc. They don't know. Like, the scene itself is trying to figure it out. The labels are well behind, brands as well. The people in their buildings know about us, but we be talking about UK drill, you know, so we ain't gonna get that check. Like, if I was a beauty influencer, like, I would have been having checks from 30, 40, 20,000. Do you know what I mean? But it's not that journey for us, man. We're on the forefront of something brand new, and everybody who's genuinely excited about music, like, music's such a huge part of my life that, you know, I'm genuinely excited. Like, the excitement, it can't die, you know, like that. So it's, you know, it's a difficult thing where you're genuinely about music and you won't just, I've had brands approach me, oh yeah, wear this ring or wear this jewelry and blah. I'm not just, what? To my audience. Them man are bad, man. You can't put no dickhead product in front of, don't, like, just and also valuing what we have as well, because it's unusual and we don't know what it is just yet, you know?
Yeah, facts. I guess what we do is maybe we could take a couple, we see if there's any questions in the chat real quick. We can start winding down. We've been going at it for about an hour now, so I guess we could take some more of the questions in the chat and we could kind of close it out a little bit. But somebody, Right Talk, asked if we talked about Digga D. I think for me, my opinion on Digga D is that's a representation of the upper classes perspectives of people who they don't understand, right? Like, I don't understand this, so I'm just gonna silence you. Like, I don't want to hear this. Like, that's why when the whole drill debate comes up, it's like, people don't care. People don't actually care about what they're talking about. I don't think people actually care about the fact that people are talking about XYZ. I think people are uncomfortable hearing the narrative. So they just want to silence it so they could just not be confronted with it. They could turn off the news, they could turn off the YouTube or whatever, or they could not hear this song, and then they could live in their bubble still. Because at the end of the day, if their concern was the violence, they would go out and invest in solving the problem. So I think, to me, Digga D is a representation of that on the broader scale. People don't actually care about solving the issue. And it's something I said to Walks too. If they get rid of the crime, the police won't have a job.
But also,
you know,
it is that, like, who's gonna, like as you were just saying, like, take their fingers out of their pockets to actually do something, because it's gonna cost money. They ain't gonna, do you know what I mean? They ain't gonna shell out, so they ain't give a fuck, man. You know, as long as we're as for them, I think the hood would be better not seen and not heard. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess what we do, we'll take one last one. So how do you lot feel about the restrictions on UK drill right now? I guess that's similar to what we just talked about with regards to it's not going to solve anything. You're gonna maybe make a couple people more comfortable, but the violence was happening beforehand anyway.
Yeah.
What else? There's a lot. Oh wow, hold on. There's a lot going on here. If you see a good one to close out on, just throw it out there.
There's someone talking about a hairline reveal. Who's this? What do you think about London's relationship to the rest of the UK cities? LEETOTHEVI. Nah, let's something we can both.
Yeah.
Both come out on. But big up yourself, Atusa, for asking that one, man.
Word.
Oh Jesus, my boy Jem. Oh, large up Jamel, man. Jesus Christ, man. Ask me a quick question. Leave it. And then that you have vast knowledge. You're a bastard, Jamal. You know me personally. You shouldn't be putting these kind of questions out there. Hey. Anyway, yeah. Lee, what tribe are you from?
They're just taking the piss now, right? Well, I guess
I'm Nigerian, innit? I'm Igbo, man. Igbo.
See now, one of my fraternity brothers is Igbo as well.
Oh, large him up, man.
Yeah, man. All right, boom. I see a good one. What is the goal for 2021? That's a good place that we can. That's actually one of my questions here. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about some future plans to the degree in which we're both willing and able to share, and then
yeah. My plans, I think to get my business up and running as a stable business, you know, I find myself in this position where I'm doing a hell of a lot of things myself. So it's getting to the point where things are getting quite overwhelming. I can't lie. In between emails, answering my social media, like all of that stuff on one person is a hell of a lot. Then you got to deal with, you know, tax season accounts, etc. You got to do this whole stuff. So I think for me, this year it's getting my business to a point where I have all the pieces in play, all the I've got 2 people on board the channel now, who are, well, not on the channel, just in the business, you know what I mean? One dealing with accounts, one dealing with like emails and stuff like that. But there's a few other pieces I need into play. Anything else I got planned this year, y'all motherfuckers are just gonna have to wait and find out. How about yourself, Alchemist?
So, all right, boom. Goals to hit 50K. You know, that's the hope.
Hey, man.
Definitely trying to expand beyond reactions. That was a plan from day one. You know what I mean? So this was the beginning of it. You feel me? This is one of the things that I had. So now I'm actually about to take my notepad and just check off first interview off of my goal list for the year. Yeah, but it's really just going to be to continue to expand and just improve the way I produce, what I produce, you know, reach more people. And in terms of quantifiable goals, yeah, the 50K. If I hit 100, then I'll be even more beautiful. And then also I want to increase my my American viewership to 10%. I think right now at about 6%. If I can hit 10%, by the end of the year, I'll be satisfied, because that means that I'm reaching a larger American audience, which means that I'll be able to help them understand more than the rest of the world, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely something I hope for you as well, my bro, man. I think the more people understand what's going on, the better. And I think also, it's also like you were saying, that crossover, because there's other American reactors as well, you know?
Yeah.
And there's that crossover of the scene over there, but also like there's a ton of artists in America, New York, you know, all different places who are taking on this sound and seeing what they do with that as well. It's still part of the evolution of this thing for me.
Yeah.
So, you know, seeing what comes from America will be dope as well.
That's a fact. Yeah. So that's definitely one of my biggest plans, is helping people. You know, I have some ideas to help people understand, or my American friends understand the UK a little bit more. I have some ideas, you know. So, you know, I think that's a good place for us to close it out real quick. You have anything else you want to say for the people?
Listen, man, 200K hairline reveal coming up. You're done, though. I promised you at 100, but you know, you guys, yeah, the hair, it's a myth, man. You wondering why I ain't been taking off this hat. Other than that, man, listen, I wish everybody a happy new year. I hope you're safe. Quarantine and all that is not getting you guys down, man. You know, mental health, like, very important these times of the year, man. It's fucking nuts. All you guys in America, man, I'm so glad Donald Trump is fucking leaving that fucking house, man. I cannot tell you how much, man. I think that will have a calming effect on the rest of the world as well. But other than me getting a little political, yeah, man, just, you know, do your thing. Love each other, man. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, man. So for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Hopefully you subscribe. Shout out to the 300 plus of you who have been in the chat consistently. I've been seeing it's been above 300 for a minute.
That's
so,
great.
You know what I mean? Shout outs to y'all. If you're new, again, subscribe. Make sure you like, make sure you share, and hang tight for some more content. I do got more of that coming for y'all, but until next time, peace.
We out.